All right, do you remember that beautiful river table that I made a few videos back? Yeah, the one where I managed to turn a beautiful work of art into a lesson in disaster recovery? Well, buckle up because today I'm taking you on a journey to show you how I fixed all of those blunders. By the end of this video, you'll not only know how to save a project on the brink of disaster, but you might just feel like an epoxy wizard. Let's dive in. So I messed up the table, not just a little oops, but a big one. You know, the kind where you stare at it for a good minute thinking, what have I done? Yeah, that kind. First things first, I needed to assess the damage. A good wipe down with alcohol not only cleans the surface, but also gives you a clearer look at what you're dealing with. And what did I find? 3 main culprits: bubbles, warping, and cracked resin that let air sneak in under it. Fantastic. So I took up my sander, fully aware this was just the beginning. The goal wasn't to create a masterpiece. It was about exposing the flaws, opening those bubbles, and laying the groundwork for what was to come. Now that those bubbles had nowhere to hide, I got to work cleaning them out. I hit them with a 1-2 punch of compressed air and alcohol. It's like giving them a deep clean so they don't sneak any dirt or old resin into our next move. Now the meticulous work to start getting things back on track. Filling each bubble hole with UV resin. I carefully twisted a toothpick, bringing the air to the surface. Then I hit it with a heat gun, like I was grilling the perfect steak. I waited 5 to 10 minutes, and then repeating until those divots were gone like last year's trends. Unlike the rapid curing process of epoxy resin, UV resin offered a strategic advantage. By allowing the table to rest for 24 hours, I ensured that no hidden bubbles would compromise the final result. Then it was time to hit it with the UV light and set things in place. Now, for the crack in the resin, I thought, hey, let's drill on both ends to push some UV resin through. Sounded like a solid plan, right? Well, turns out drilling wasn't the best idea. The layer was just too thin and it didn't quite work out as I'd hoped. But no worries, on to plan B. So obviously my carefully crafted plan took an unexpected turn. The sander removed the unwanted resin, but in its place, I discovered a tiny pit left by the drill bit. It was a setback, but I knew I could overcome this challenge too. Sand it some more, this time going deep enough to eliminate the pit left by the drill bit. It's not perfectly even with the wood around it, but when encasing the entire thing in resin, those minor dips aren't even noticed. The now vulnerable and exposed wood areas demanded swift action. A coating of UV resin was applied to protect the exposed areas and prevent potential issues. I found more of those pesky bubbles. I filled them in and sealed the rest of the bare wood like a pro. Okay, not really a pro, but I'm getting better at this. A thin layer of resin was key to keep things under control. It kind of felt like I was playing a game of Operation with the table. Then it was time for a little sunbathing. I rolled the table outside because, let's be honest, there's no better UV light than the sun. I didn't leave it out too long this time. Lesson learned from what caused this disaster to begin with. Alright, time to give this baby a quick once over with the sander. We're not aiming for perfection here, just a smooth landing pad for our next move. Think of it as prepping the canvas for a masterpiece. Now, the final and arguably most important step, leveling. Getting this table perfectly level is crucial to achieving a perfectly smooth and mostly flawless top, so I made sure it was spot on. Then it's time to build a little flood wall around the table. I used caulk to stick some corrugated plastic to the sides. It's not a fancy form, just a simple barrier to hold everything in place for the next pour. Alright, now it's epoxy time. Let's give this baby a shiny new coat. I poured just enough to cover everything without going overboard. Think of it as frosting a cake, but way cooler. Finally, the big finish. I peeled the sides off, cut the table to size, shaped the edges, and wrapped it all up with a final flood coat. And let me tell you, the transformation was totally worth it. So there you have it, how to turn a major epoxy disaster into a stunning piece of furniture. I hope this video helps you avoid the mistakes that I made, or at least gives you the confidence to fix them if they happen. If you made it this far, you're a real one. And if you enjoyed this journey of problem solving, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more adventures. Thanks for hanging out with me. Catch you in the next one.